Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public service announcement. For regular viewers and listeners of AWI Pod, please do not be offended, as this program contains good wrestling.
It's my life in the box in front of me. The guitar in my arms is the soul of me. You walk by, ask to see me lay face down.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. I am your host, Brent Piles, and this is the 14th episode of Warring to Attitude. And as you know, if I'm going to review these 1997 Raws, I'm not going to go like the Bang Bang podcast and Andy and review this shit by myself. So I've got one of my tag team partners. He's the barroom brawl and disco dance and dynamite stretching intercontinental playboy. Folks, he's more over than Charlotte Flair getting title shots. GA Russell, Glenn, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. I take it they're giving her another one because I didn't see Raw last night. Oh, it's not tonight, isn't it? I didn't see SmackDown on Friday. That's it.
Okay, so Friday night on SmackDown, I believe she challenged for the title, didn't she?
Oh, that's it. Yes. Yeah. Sorry. I've been traveling about since and frying my brain because the heat here has been ridiculous over the last couple of days.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of tweets about the heat over there in England today. How hot is it?
What's it at the moment? It's 76 of your degrees at the moment.
And that's hot there, huh?
And that's at 7:15 in the evening. Yeah, that's quite warm at this time of night.
So it's probably in the upper 80s then, probably when you were during the day. Currently in Nebraska, it is a nice, cool 73 degrees.
Yeah.
But to put that in perspective, in Nebraska, we're used to it being like 105. So when it's 73, it's nice.
Yeah. The trouble here is also it's humid as well. Got a lot of humidity with it.
Yeah, that's not what the heat's fine, but the humidity will kill you. That's what will kill you. The humidity. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, Glenn, we are firmly on the road to WrestleMania 13, and we are reviewing the last Monday Night Raw, or Raw is War, as they're calling it now, before WrestleMania 13.
Yes. And you referred to him earlier on in your intro as the third man in our Freebird team. He will be putting in a guest appearance tonight, I believe.
He will. As we go through the show, we ran into a match that we thought was really funny and fun. And if you don't listen to our other shows, I don't know why you don't, but you should. AWI Pod Worldwide and the Mayor of Superstars. It's all about funny and fun. And so if we had a funny and fun match on here, we had to get the Mayor. It's a little match. It's a short match, right, Glenn?
Yes, it's a very small match.
It is very small, and we really
bad.
My favorite part,
low-hanging fruit. That definitely,
yeah, extremely low-hanging fruit. Yes. If you're looking for low-hanging fruit jokes, that is the match for you. That is the 5 minutes of this show that you are really going to enjoy. My favorite part was when the two combatants that we saw, some of the combatants that we saw in this match, first popped up on the screen. The Mayor immediately started laughing. So that's how good that was.
Well, I laughed my way through. The first time I watched it, I laughed my way all the way through it.
Oh, samesies too. And then I messaged you and said we got to get the Mayor on to watch that.
Yeah,
so, that'll be coming later in the show. Be on the lookout for that. But first off, let's dig into this thing. It's March 17th, 1997. We are on the Onondaga War Memorial. I think is how you Onondaga. I don't know how you fucking pronounce it. Something like that. War Memorial in Syracuse, New York. I remember this arena because in 1992 they recorded a series of Superstars episodes there, which you know that we probably covered on the Mayor of Superstars before Glenn. We were watching the year 1992. This is also the building, Glenn, where David Arquette won the WCW World Title.
Oh God, no!
Yeah, this is the same one, and this building actually held the first ever WWF In Your House pay-per-view in April of 1995. So. History. And Glenn, if you're planning a big vacation to Syracuse, New York this summer, Glenn, you can go ahead and get your tickets. July 8th, you can go see Shania Twain, or if you're not into Shania Twain, do you know who Shania Twain is, Glenn?
That don't impress me much.
Okay. I was going to say any man of mine, Glenn, but you put up the next one that everybody would know. Good work. If that's not your thing, Glenn, you can check out the Kids Bop Never Stops live world tour on July 16th if you're going to head out to Syracuse, New York this summer. So there you go.
Okay. I think I'll give it a pass.
No, you don't want to see the Kids Bop live world tour?
No, I don't think so.
Glenn, how many Kids Bop CDs you got?
I've got none whatsoever.
Good. Did you ever spin any Kids Bop?
Nope.
That's good. That's good. Probably should. This is the last Raw, of course, before WrestleMania 13, as we mentioned before, and they're not messing around.
No, they're not. Well, they are, but they're not.
They are, but they aren't.
And the LOD, of course, are super over when they come out.
Just a little.
They've been away for a while, so nice to have them back last week. And of course, this is to hype up the LOD and Ahmed Johnson versus the Nation, all 100 of them.
All 100. Yeah, 3 men versus 100 men in the Chicago street fight.
And yeah. So we have, for this one, Savio Vega and Crush as 2 of the melee.
Also, it was really weird. Like Howard Finkel had like a T-shirt on. I think it was like a WrestleMania T-shirt on while he was announcing these guys to the ring. And it was just kind of a weird sight to see it. Howard Finkel, he's got a big long T-shirt, but still got a bow tie on. It was just and then the Nation Domination comes out of the ring. It's going to be LOD versus Crush and Savio Vega. LOD wastes no time as they just start beating the shit out of Savio and Crush as soon as they didn't even get into the ring. I think they met them out the outside of the ring.
They did. Yeah, because Ahmed Johnson and Farouk have both been barred from ringside. Apparently.
You know what they haven't been barred from, though, Glenn, and that's side-by-side interviews during the match, because I think they both got a couple, didn't they?
Well, that's the idea of this show. We get so many of them during this show.
I mean, the last few weeks it's been side-by-side mania, that's for sure. Then Farouk says he doesn't know how to fight. That Ahmed Johnson doesn't know how to fight in the streets, and that's why they're going to have a street fight. Apparently, Ahmed Johnson knows nothing about the streets, as we've learned in the previous weeks from Farouk. Yeah, 2 side-by-sides, and then they go back to Farouk where he's not there. And they're like, oh my God, where's Farouk at? And then it turns out that he's beating the crap out of Ahmed Johnson with a nightstick. So there's that again. Ahmed Johnson is the biggest dummy that there is because he's getting beat up by the Nation of Domination every time he turns around.
I know what he said. Also, when you see the word street, you see the name Farouk by the side of it. Well, I've never heard of a Farouk Street.
Yeah, what street? What city is that located?
Yeah.
What you got to do now is you go take a right up here on Know Your Role Boulevard and take a left on Farouk Street. Boom, you'll be right there. That's a weird wrestling town that we've never been to. Then, meanwhile, there's a wrestling match going on during this whole entire thing, by the way, in case anyone forgot.
This amazes me. It used to be the same in ECW. They had this massive brawl, and then suddenly a wrestling match would break out.
Yeah. Definitely, because at the beginning of this thing, they're fighting everywhere. It looks like a no disqualification Texas Tornado match. And the next thing you know, we're getting standing side headlocks and shit. So Crush and Savio go for like a double back body drop on Hawk, and he like flips out of it, lands on his feet for a clothesline, which I thought was pretty fucking cool because I didn't see Hawk flipping out of a double back body drop during this match. It just wasn't something I thought was going to happen.
This was basically. In the notes for this match that they were given is do what you like, but just don't sell anything.
For heaven's sakes, don't sell a thing because you have a street fight this Sunday. And we don't want people to think that you guys are a bunch of punks. So sell nothing. So finally, LOD looks like they're setting up their finishing maneuver, but then Farouk makes his way down to the ring and he starts attacking the LOD with a nightstick. But then Ahmed Johnson runs in to make the save. He hits a Pearl River plunge on one of the right wrappers. And then the LOD hits the Doomsday device on D'Lo Brown. And again, the match wasn't bad. It's just a lot of times they don't give us anything to care about while we watch it.
And it's another disqualification for the Legion of Doom.
Yep.
Yet again, I say this every week, I do not think we've actually seen them win a match. Every week is a loss by disqualification.
I'm literally trying to think in my brain of when they win a match because I can't think of it. Yeah, okay. Then they talk about the 1997 Slammy Awards, which, if you didn't know, next week, next Tuesday, you're going to hear a review of that show from me and Glenn, the 1997 Slammy Awards. I watched it all yesterday, and I can tell you they were definitely something. Have you watched any of this yet, Glenn?
Not yet, no.
Oh, boy. You just wait. It's got to be something. They go back to Vince and JR, and they're having some sort of discussion on whether or not the cage match tonight will be for the WWF Championship. I guess Gorilla Monsoon is on his way to the building to clear these things up.
Yep, of course. He's never going to be there, was he? He had to come from wherever he, Connecticut or wherever he'd been lurking.
Right, there's no way he could have been in the building.
No, it had to come to clear up the situation of whether this was going to be a title match this close to WrestleMania or not.
Well, and I also don't know why he needed to come and explain that, because they announced last week that it was for the title, so I don't know where the controversy came from.
No, I don't either.
I didn't get it.
But this is the sort of thing that happens, is that they start referring to things, and the only thing I could think of is they're reacting to something that's either been said or done on WCW.
That's probably a really good point. I could see, WCW at this point saying something on their show of something. Oh, they're just going to give you, there's not going to be really a championship match. They're just telling you that, so maybe that's
because Vince has been going on for weeks about them and.
Oh, during the Slammy show, there is several little digs and sneak disses at WCW in that show. It's riddled with it. So they also tell us during this that Shawn Michaels may be on his way to the arena, and I'm not sure what that has to fucking do with anything, but he might be on his way. And also, Stone Cold is absolutely in the arena. So
it's a miracle. He could hardly walk a couple of weeks ago.
He must have found his smile.
He's found his smile, and he's on his way to the arena.
It was just funny the way because they put it in context, like if it had something to do with the championship match, and it didn't. It has nothing.
Nothing to do with anything really.
Yeah. Next up, it's Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He's actually got Chyna with him.
Chyna, yes.
And they say her name.
We now know that it is Chyna.
Yep. So
and we get all sorts of comments from the King.
Yeah, there's
inappropriate as usual.
Yeah, there's a lot of insensitive things regarding Chyna, and we're not going to repeat those here.
No.
And of course, Hunter Hearst Helmsley taking on that dancing fool, Flash Funk. He dances his way to the ring with the Funkettes while they show us how many times Chyna's beat up Marlena over the last couple months.
Yeah, shame she didn't have a go at the Funkettes. Stop them dancing for a bit. Is it all right? But it goes on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah, it's like they have to do the whole 4-minute Flash Funk song of dancing.
Yeah.
Like, all right, it was cool for 60 seconds. Can we stop? You do that for the people of the arena. You send it to commercial. They keep dancing. We come back. The match has started. That's how you do it. God damn it! What the fuck, Kevin Dunn? This is all your fault. Anyway, they also tell us about the Miss Slammy award that will be given away at the Slammies. And apparently Chyna's going to be involved in that. It's going to be Chyna, Marlena, the Funkettes, Sunny, and Sable. Who will win Miss Slammy? Wait with bated breath to find out next week. What do you think, Glenn? How are you feeling about the Miss Slammy competition?
Well, what we've seen, there's only one contender, really. And that's Marlena, because she's done a good job of being ragdolled and beaten up. And
True. It is true. I mean, we haven't seen Sable much recently. She's been gone, and the only time you really see Sunny is when she comes out to be the ring announcer or something.
Yeah, just to show up half dressed.
Yeah. Baby Earl can't get Chyna out of the ring, so Funk tries to get Chyna to get out of the ring, and then Hunter pushes Funk, and then he hides behind Chyna, which I thought was really good. I mean, this was a decent little match. Funk did some cool stuff. Hunter hit some power moves. Funk going for a top rope leg drop, but on Hunter, but Chyna pulls.
Before that, it amazes me that halfway through the introductions and everything, they suddenly went with the King doing an advert for Sega, the Sega Genesis, and 3 free games if you buy the Sega Genesis. It got nothing to do with the wrestling.
What's a hell of a deal, though?
Yeah.
I must have spaced that whole thing because I don't even remember seeing that. But yeah, so Flash Funk gets up on the top rope. He tries to do a leg drop onto Hunter, but Chyna pulls Funk's foot off Hunter before. Oh, he does hit the. I'm sorry, he hits a leg drop off the top rope, and then but Chyna pulls Hunter's foot before the pulls referee's foot before he can get to the 3 count. Easy for me to say. Funk tries to go to the top rope again for his finishing move, but Chyna gets up on the apron and distracts him, and then Hunter somehow hits a pedigree for the win. And then Chyna and Hunter beat up Flash Funk once the match is over.
I like it. I like this, the way that they're transforming Hunter Hearst Helmsley into Triple H. He's becoming less of the fop and more of the cerebral assassin. Right. And now he's got Chyna with him as well. It makes it even more menacing.
Right, and he's kind of moving away from that like blue blood gimmick. He doesn't really do the bow thing anymore.
No, that's what I said. He's transforming in front of our eyes.
Definitely. And then, Glenn, after that, they show us that Shawn Michaels has arrived at the building.
Of course, why wouldn't they? Because you needed another picture-in-picture section. Yeah, you absolutely had to have another picture-in-picture section because how would it be Raw's War without one? You know. The next up is our match that we're going to watch with the mayor here. It's Mini Mankind and Mini Vader versus Mini Goldust and Masagria Sangrata Jr. I want to kind of get into what they were talking about with the state of New Jersey. Do you remember this, Glenn? They were like talking about how the WWF is going to be able to run SummerSlam in New Jersey this year because the governor of New Jersey, Christy Todd Whitman, got rid of a tax bill that was keeping WWF from running live events because they were charged upwards of $100,000 to run professional wrestling events in the state of New Jersey, and they were also tied into the athletic commission, so they had to do all the same regulations that boxing had to do to take place in New Jersey. That's right. I remember all of that. I remember it at the time. There was a big thing about it because it was basically the commissions throughout the states were strangling the wrestling companies, especially small independent ones. It even affected WWF and WCW. Not so much WCW because they just sat themselves in Disney and didn't bother about it too much.
Right.
Any company that sort of works as even WWF as a sort of territory type company, they were really feeling the pinch from the sporting commissions that they were charging silly amounts of money just to grant licenses.
When you don't need a license because it's fucking entertainment. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
They had the Undertaker at this press conference, and he looked very out of place. Like he looked like he wanted to be anywhere but there.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna throw this to our little watch along with our friend the mayor of Canton. Here we go. We had a fun little short match that we needed the mayor to see that was on the episode of Raw this week for War and Attitude. So, Mayor of Canton, are you ready to watch this match here with me and Glenn?
I am ready.
All right, here we go. We didn't prep the mayor on what this is, so he's just going to view this for fun, and we're going to really enjoy it. So here we go. All right.
So we got Monday Night Raw, March 17th. So it's St. Patrick's Day, 1997.
Is that a fact?
Yeah, St. Patrick's Day, March 17th.
Goddamn, pal. We got Mini Mankind and Mini Vader here.
Right, yes, in the picture.
He's Mini Kind.
McMahon's the U.S. president. Oh God, no! Don't do that. Rip that sign up.
Is this a Battle Bowl match? Are they the thrown together tag team? Or are they going to wrestle?
Goddamn, wish it was. Could you imagine a Battle Bowl full of little people? Oh God!
The full size version of tagging together at this time.
We got Mini Goldust coming out here.
And a guy,
Masagria Sangrata Jr., I believe, is his name.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because I couldn't remember it.
It looks like the White Power Ranger.
He does. He does look like the White Ranger.
The Mini Ranger.
He's going to get bigger.
He's not Pentagon Jr. He's Rectangle Jr.
It was funny that you say that because we watched Hexagon versus Pentagon last week, and I said I can't believe it, Glenn. We're watching two shapes take on each other here. It's nuts. Like the Mini Mankind, Mini Vader, Mini Goldust look more like teenagers than like little people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is that's supposed to be Goldust? Who's the other person?
It's Massagrius and Garada Jr.
Oh, okay.
Vince is into this big kick at the moment of getting luchadors in from the AAA.
And then we'll dress him up in fucking,
And
fucking hilarious.
this guy is the smallest luchador.
It does say Mini Gold Dust on the back.
He does.
Yeah.
The whole get up here.
Mini Gold Dust does look like he's like 14.
He
I remember
does.
He used to have Max Mini on wrestling all the time too. That was in like '96. You guys remember Max Mini?
Mhm.
All right, here we go. We got a little standoff here between Vader and Goldust.
This is great.
Oh God, I don't like that.
That guy throws a better punch than most of the wrestlers these days.
He does. I like how it's mini Vader on his chest.
He's kind of built like Vader too. Like the body is very.
They even cut his hair like him. They really committed to this thing. Oh God, I thought he was gonna drop him on his fucking face.
He didn't have that far to fall.
Yeah, it just it wasn't too far of a drop. It was just a little drop. There we go. Uh-oh. Got a little trickery going on here. A little one-upsmanship. Oh my God. What a drop kick there. Oh, he tumbled. I like it.
He went out in between the bottom rope and the bottom rope.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes Mini Mankind. He's a house of fire here. They even did the little mandible claw fingers up too, which is nice. They committed to this shit, and I like it. I'm a fan.
Oh.
Here we go. Massagrius and Garada Jr., my favorite name to say in this match because it's hard to say and I can actually say it. So good job to me.
Mick Foley. It's Mrs. Foley's baby boy.
Baby.
Half
Baby.
a baby. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, he didn't jump out of it. Oh man.
Hey.
The fans are excited.
Oh yeah, turning you back on Vader. Mini Vader. Where am I? Oh, there you are.
That's so funny. But it is.
There's something funny about a midget getting hit.
Even at like WrestleMania when Sami Zayn like kicked fucking Wee Man, I fucking thought that was the funniest fucking thing I'd ever seen. Hilarious. They've always had a little bit of issues between Mini Goldust and Mini Vader. Whoa, look
I
at
don't think
that.
I've ever seen Goldust do that before.
No, that's a new thing for Goldust. I swear. I need a mini promotion just full of mini wrestling gimmicks. That'd be fucking amazing. I'd watch it every day. Oh, 1, 2, 3. And Massagrius and Grata Jr. gets the win here over Mini Mankind and Mini Vader. Uh-oh. He was too short. He missed him. No, he's running. He's fighting.
He's after it.
What's happening now? Oh, the stage. Oh, this is going to be. Holy cow. Whoa!
Oh
my like a lawn dart. Roddy Piper never cut the dwarf that far, I'll tell you that much.
He's totally out of it. Look, he's having to pick him up.
He flew like a mosquito.
He's not himself friendly.
Oh, well, that's the end of it. That was a lot of fun, but that does it. Thanks to our special guest, the Mayor of Canton, for joining us for a couple of minutes.
I feel like we need more midget matches
Yeah.
in this world. The big mayor makes people a lot like a midget.
Okay, we hope you enjoyed that as much as we did. That was a lot of fun watching that Minis match. Hopefully we'll get to see him some more.
Yeah. Didn't that Mini Goldust look suspiciously young rather than Mini?
I kind of felt like the Mini Goldust looked like a teenager. He didn't
that's right. He didn't look a mini. He wasn't a mini person. He was just a young person.
Yeah, that's definitely. I kind of got that vibe from the Mini Goldust here. So the next thing they show us is the interview with.
Before we pass on from that, I go by some of these notes from Scott's Blog of Doom, and I've got to applaud the guy who's actually writing this one, because he put it was too quick to rate. I could have gone with too short to rate, but either I'm not so low on standards that I go for such low hanging fruit.
He sounds like our kind of guy.
Yes.
because there were many small and short jokes. That's why we kept telling the mayor, "Hey, we got this little short match we need you to watch." And I'm pretty sure that's why he chuckled so hard when he first saw those.
Yeah.
He kept saying it's a little short match. But yeah, so then they talked to Monsoon on whether or not tonight's cage match will be for the WWF Championship. And he informs us that it is indeed for the WWF title. And I guess a lot of Undertaker fans were upset. And they said this is unfair. But Monsoon says that Bret deserves the title shot. And he's going to get one whether anyone likes it or not.
I love this. This set up the ending so perfectly, but I will talk about that at the end.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. And then, of course, since we've just heard that Bret Hart's going to indeed get a championship match, we, of course, need to have an interview with Bret Hart. I'm not entirely sure why we needed to have a guy who's having a championship match later in the show come out and cut a promo during the show. I just didn't understand. I was like, why is Bret out here? I don't get it.
Basically, he wants to change the face of WrestleMania. So, yeah, well, that would do it. You win the title tonight. There's certainly a change of face from Sid.
Absolutely, it would be a change of pace from Sid. And let's hear a little bit of what Bret had to say with this whole situation.
I won the Final Four. I'm a 4-time World Wrestling Federation champion. And I think that I deserve a little respect around here.
No question of that. Although there seems to be.
I know that The Undertaker's not too thrilled about it. But there's kind of a new motto in the World Wrestling Federation. You scratch my back and I'll stab yours.
I like that.
And The Undertaker might not be too thrilled about it. You know, after I win, and I will win the World Wrestling Federation Championship belt for a 5th time, The Undertaker need not worry, because I'll give him his shot, and he can get in line with the rest of them.
Ooh, with the rest of them, he says. I always find it hilarious that he has to specify that it's the World Wrestling Federation Championship belt. Like, he always has to make sure that everyone knows that it's a belt.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's good old fashioned. That is. I guess it's true. You know, it is a belt.
It is. I guess but he doesn't want you to think he's got a cup. He doesn't got a cup. It's a belt, David.
It's definitely a belt.
Wasn't belt one of the words that they said Vince told people not to say?
Yeah.
That's probably why Bret did it. He said, I'm going to say belt as many times as I can drive this guy crazy.
And I'm going to wear it as a belt.
Yep. I'm not going to drag it over on the ground or throw it over my shoulder. I'm going to wear it as a belt. Yeah. The main thing that I took from this is Bret really got a super mixed reaction during this promo. Some were cheering, but there was a lot of boos.
Boos, yeah.
And then we get a strange pitch for WrestleMania 13 merch where they show JR trying to sell black hats, Howard Finkel trying to sell you videotapes of his best announcements. And then my favorite one was Vince McMahon selling a wig and mic combo set.
Yeah. Because and there's a thing, there's a little hark back to that at WrestleMania as well that will be featured in the commentary that I made a note on when I watched it.
Oh, I haven't watched WrestleMania 13 yet, but I'm gonna start watching it this week. The next they show us the Rocky Maivia making his way to the ring here with the Intercontinental Championship title. I guess he's going to be joining the commentary team for this match. It's another jobber special, Glenn.
Hey, it's poor Mike Bell.
Taking on poor Mike Bell, yes.
Poor Mike Bell against the Sultan. With Bob Backlund and the Iron Sheik, just in case the odds aren't stacked against him enough.
The funniest thing to me was like they said Mike Bell's name, but they didn't show him.
No.
They didn't care. It didn't even matter. Here's Mike Bell. It doesn't matter.
You're putting him up against a Samoan Arab. What do you care?
Yeah, what are you gonna do, right? And I love like so. Sultan starts beating the shit out of Mike Bell, and Vince tells Rocky, "This could very well be you at WrestleMania." And I just thought that was hilarious because I don't think Rocky's going to become a wimpy white guy by WrestleMania.
No,
That's not going to happen.
It always makes me laugh when I see the Sultan, though, because you think of what he becomes, and there's the Sultan there with his curly boots and baggy pants.
Right. Like when I was a kid, I had no idea that the Sultan was the head shrinker guy, or that he
No.
would later be, Fatu, and then
Well, yeah,
I had no
it was-
idea.
It was sort of stages of Rikishi. There was the head shrinker guy. Then he put on a few pounds and became the Sultan. Then he put on a few more pounds. And then he became Rikishi.
Yeah, don't forget he was like the street savvy, like Fatu too. Remember, he was like,
Yeah,
he was like,
yeah.
I think it was like 95 when he was like, yeah, I'm from the streets.
Yeah.
And then he became the Sultan, and then he became Rikishi.
Rikishi.
What a career that guy's had.
Yeah. That's a lot of pie eating in between those different parts of his career.
Lots of pie eating. I also heard like them talking about how like it was way easier to get him to dress up as the Sultan than it was to let his ass hang out as Rikishi, because he just didn't want people to see his butt like that. And I guess that was like the original idea for Yokozuna too. Like they were gonna have him like have his butt out like that, but Rodney was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that."
No, that's it.
Of course, the Sultan makes short work of Mike Bell. He wins with the camel clutch, and then we get a stare down between Rocky and the Sultan. And then it looks like they're about to fight, but then Tony Atlas shows up again.
Yeah, of course.
The voice of reason, Tony Atlas, is just following the rack around in a van, I guess.
Yeah.
And they show us that we will hear from Shawn Michaels after the break. So he's indeed walking. So that's good news.
Yes. And walking very well, may I say.
Not even a limp.
Not even a limp. Considering that there's this guy, this surgeon that he's been seeing must be a miracle worker.
Yeah. I will say the fans were going fucking nuts for Shawn Michaels here. There was like screaming, and some girls fainted. I didn't see any girls fainting, but I just assumed from the screaming that someone fainted.
Yeah, well, Vince is at the head of that pack.
Yeah, I mean, Vince.
He's such a Sean Pango as well.
The heartbreaking Shawn Michaels. I guess the real question is, Glenn, who do you think Vince had a heart? Who do you think Vince got harder for? Shawn Michaels or Hulk Hogan?
I think it's close.
I think Vince by just a little, just a
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, so Vince tells Shawn, that the fans screaming like that for you's got to make you feel good, and Shawn says it definitely helped him find his smile that he lost a few months ago. He says he found it in Texas, and that he's decided to take it with him wherever he goes. That's
What? Why did you leave it there in the first place?
Oh, how did your smile get away from you?
Yeah,
It's like a Peter Pan scenario where he lost his fucking shadow. I don't understand.
That's just being bloody careless. You leave your smile at home.
You gotta
I
know.
know it breaks up. Oh, it's me smile.
Right.
Oh,
Jesus
well.
Christ. Imagine the shock and appall of other people when they saw him walking around without a smile. He just leaves it home willy-nilly. He also thanks the fans for being patient with him, and he calls himself the world's most emotional wrestler, and I'm sure everybody in the back agreed with that. Vince asks him of how the knee is doing, and let's hear what Shawn Michaels has to say.
Well, if nothing else, I always try to do what's in. And so once the president messed his knee up, I felt like I had to do it too. But on a more serious note, the knee is coming along. Next week, I'm going to go out to Birmingham and see Dr. Andrews, and he'll let me know what's going on. And hopefully, within a couple of months, I will be in this ring once again, whether anybody likes it or not.
I think they like it.
You like it, Vince.
And I have to tell you, this time off has done wonders for me. And I know there are a lot of people that don't like it, but when I get back in here, I'm going to be busting and moving like I used to. And believe me, when I get in here, the clothes are coming off one way or another.
Oh boy. When he gets back, the clothes are coming off.
Oh no. Don't come back too soon, then, Sean, please. I think I can take that.
Take your time. Take your time. Yeah.
The time away. He's been away a week.
Well, I think it's been a little more than a week, hasn't it?
Maybe 2. But it's not been that long.
It hasn't been that. It hasn't been more than 3 weeks.
No.
That's for sure. It hasn't been more than 3. And then Shawn Michaels asked Vince why he hasn't invited him to WrestleMania. And he says he's inviting himself to WrestleMania. In fact, he's going to call the championship match with Vince.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. That's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
They then, after this interview with Shawn Michaels, they cut to the back and they show a very upset Undertaker, and he kind of kicks one of the pieces of the big blue cage as it falls to the floor. Very upset Undertaker here. And the next up is a one-on-one match between Vader and the British Bulldog.
Now, we need to confirm here. This is full-size Vader.
Yes, we're right, Glenn.
With full-size Mankind.
Full-size Paul Bearer, too.
Yeah.
That would have been the best if mini Vader had a mini Paul Bearer.
Mini Paul Bearer, yeah.
Oh my God, that would have been amazing. That would have been great. As you know, Vader and Mankind will take on the Bulldog and Owen for the tag team titles in a rare heel versus heel tag team match. I guess they were just like, I don't know, we don't have any other tag teams.
Yeah. Well, the others they throw into the first match at WrestleMania.
They were going to do Furnace and LaFon, but they figured they had exasperated all their
chances. Yeah. So they stick them in what would be now on the pre-show.
It absolutely would be a pre-show match. Absolutely.
The fatal 4-way tag team match.
Like, you remember they used to do the free-for-alls?
Yeah.
I don't know if they showed them in the UK, but like they had, so you would turn to the preview channel, and it would be where you could see what was on, because that's the only way you could find out back in the day. You had to turn to the preview channel or get like a TV guide. It wasn't no fucking flip up and down where you could see what was on. And they would show like a 30-minute preview before it. It was called the free-for-all. And I really wish I could find those somewhere, but you can't find them.
We used to get them before they encrypted it.
Oh, okay.
So you'd watch 30 minutes of it, and then it would go all fuzzy, and you could, unless you paid for it, you could just listen to it.
Oh, yeah. We used to do that same thing too. We watch it through the lines on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to do the same thing with porn. But anyway, Vader takes control early in this one with some power moves. The Bulldog is able to give Vader a vertical standing suplex, which is really impressive.
It's super impressive. I love Davey Boy at this time because he reminds me so much of the guy that I knew back in the day.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, Bulldog did a lot of big things here too. I think he body slams Vader later in the match too, and I think that kind of goes along with what you were saying of, you know, he was really into his fitness right now and more into his health than maybe later or before in his career. You can really tell when he wrestles just by looking at him. So Vader hits a big splash off the second rope, but Bulldog manages to kick out. This was a really, really good hard-hitting match. Probably, besides the cage match at the end, this is probably the best match of the show.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Vader tries to come off the second rope again, but Bulldog counters this time with a power slam, which is another really impressive power move by Davey.
I love where Vader, he countered a crucifix into a Samoan drop. That was very un-Vader-like, but very impressive from him.
Definitely. I thought we really saw like some like WCW Vader in this match. You know what I mean? It's really, really showing his work.
They obviously enjoyed working together.
Right.
Because you see a lot more wrestling in this from Vader than you normally do. He probably, because he knew that if he went and stiffed Davey in the face, he'd get a punch on the nose.
Right. You get one right back. Yeah. Absolutely. Davey then gets Vader up for the power slam, but Mankind grabs Vader's foot, which gets Owen Hart involved, and the Bulldog wins by a DQ. Vader and Mankind attack Owen and Bulldog. Bulldog grabs the urn and hits Vader and Mankind with it. I think the tag team match between these two at WrestleMania should be really, really interesting.
Yes.
I'm feeling like. So I'm looking forward to that one. Really good match here.
Yeah. And it's nice that because Davey Owen are basically tweeners. They're not really super faces, that they're not heels. So winning that at the end by using the urn, especially with Davey, because he sort of frowned on Owen a couple of times using the slammy to get the right result. But Davey using the urn there at the end and them going off together as a cohesive unit was nice. It let everybody know that they were going to be together for WrestleMania.
Yeah, definitely. It showed that maybe the problems within them are over. Not to say that they are, but they're trying to show that maybe they could.
Yeah, they were going to work together for WrestleMania at least.
Right. The next thing they have is Ken Shamrock comes down to the ring. He is going to be the guest commentator for another jobber alert. Glenn, Billy Gunn makes his way to the ring, and he's going to be taking on Aaron
Ferguson.
Old Fergie. What I like to call him. Wasn't there a famous British lady named Fergie?
Yeah. Duchess of York or something. One of those hangers on.
one of the hangers on.
I think she was married to the nonce.
Okay, yeah. I just remember the only other Fergie I know is the Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas.
Black Eyed Peas, yeah.
That's the only other Fergie I'm aware of, which I don't know what she's up to now, but probably not a lot. I'm sure this is going to be a great match. Billy Gunn isn't a very good cheater, is what I learned from this one.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got in this one. He's a bad cheater, and he won via armbar. Because he's
and he just gives Ken Shamrock a load of grief, trying to prove that he's a tough guy, but gets his comeuppance.
Yeah,
I love.
Fuck around and find out. He fuck around and found out, didn't he?
Yeah. First of all, he puts him in an armbar. And could quite easily just snapped his arm like a twig.
Yep.
But lets him go. And Billy's still not having enough of it. Comes back at him again. Ends up with a drop toe hold and into an ankle lock that could easily do the same to his ankle. And Ken's like, no, I could easily kill you, but I'm not going to. You're not worth it.
He told him too when he let him up that second time. He said, "Look, I'm not messing with you again. If I get a hold of it again, I'm going to break it. I'm breaking it if you let me get a hold of it again." So Billy makes the smart decision to leave the ring, but then he goes and grabs a chair and he pretends and acts like he's going to get in there and do something, but he doesn't, and he just leaves. But he does tell Ken Shamrock that this ain't over. So,
but it's wonderful that they're actually, building up the world's most dangerous man the way they are, and showing that he can handle himself in a wrestling ring.
Yeah, definitely. Just so that when you watch WrestleMania, if Austin and Bret Hart get out of line with this guy, he can take them down pretty easily.
He's not going to be intimidated by those two.
Right. So it adds another layer to that match. The Steve Austin Bret Hart match is going to need somebody in there like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they show us they're setting up the big blue cage. And Glenn, I got to know, did you miss the big blue cage?
I didn't miss the big blue cage at all. I hated the big blue cage. It is so viewer unfriendly compared to what they do now.
And it's ironic that it's so viewer unfriendly, and that the reason why they did it is because they thought it would be more viewer friendly, like that you would be able to see in the cage better.
No.
Yeah. The old big blue. So here we are, Glenn. It's the main event. We got Psycho Sid defending the WWF Championship belt.
We're not discussing the Stone Cold promo then.
Oh, I must have spaced that because I didn't put it in my notes. There was a Stone Cold promo, huh?
Yeah, he was in the locker room, and he said he wasn't impressed with Shamrock because Billy Gunn had just been in a brutal match.
Right. 2 minutes.
And then basically, it's all Shamrock has to do is call it fair at Romania, and they'll be good. So, but it was just a typical run of the mill Stone Cold having a go at Ken Shamrock, having a pop at Brett.
What do you say about me?
Yeah. pop at Brett, and that was it,
Oh, sorry. I don't know why, but I guess I just spaced this Stone Cold promo. I didn't even have it in my notes.
That's all right.
So yeah, here we are. Psycho Sid defending the World Wrestling Federation Championship belt against Bret the Hitman Hart. They started Bret's music, and it took like a long time before he came out. So I'm like, did he get beat up in the back? I'm thinking Stone Cold Steve Austin's whipping his ass right now, but nope, here he comes.
He's probably in the bathroom or something.
I have it listed here. Maybe he didn't hear his music, or maybe he was in the bathroom, or maybe he was eating Canadian bacon. Who knows?
Yeah.
Could have been any of those things.
Yeah, because why they had the gap? Why'd they actually go through with the entrance? If they knew it was going to be a bit delayed, they didn't go through the entrance, and then they put a Sid promo in.
I missed that too. Damn it!
Oh no, you missed the Sid promo.
What a tragedy! I missed the Sid promo. Hold on, Glenn. We're gonna figure this thing out.
I am always ready, Vince McMahon, and you Stone Cold Steve Austin, you better keep your ass out of my business, because I know why you're here, and you would have to be a complete idiot not to know what you're up to. But tonight, I am going to take Bret Hart, and I am going to powerbomb him right to the floor, and I will walk out the World Wrestling Federation champion. One reason why? Because I am the man, and I am the master,
That's more than one.
and I am the ruler of the world.
Thank you very much.
That's 3 reasons why.
Yeah.
And then hold on. Is
He could ever count.
Is he stupid to know what he's up to, or is Sid too stupid to not know what he's up to?
He never ever said that he could count.
That's a good point. Glenn. I
Yeah.
couldn't expect him to know how to count.
No.
But I'm pretty sure that he said that Stone Cold Steve Austin's too stupid to know what he's up to. I'm pretty sure he said that. So
Yeah, it did.
thank God you brought that up, because I forgot. I don't know how I could have forgot that, but that was, thank God we got that Sid promo. And even though it was a struggle for me to figure out technology there, but I got it. Oh, so the cage match, Glenn. What do you think about this main event cage match here?
It's good to see the old you have to escape rules for the cage match, and no pinning or anything in the cage. It's just get over the top or out the door.
See, me and you are in differing opinions of this. I believe that a cage match is better when it ends in a pinfall or submission, because the idea of a cage match is to keep you in the cage. So just for me, I like it better that way.
Mm-hmm.
But
I suppose it is.
It is fun with Bret's cage matches, because he does such a good job of making like the escapes being the thing that you have to watch out for. Like if you watch the Bret Hart Owen classic cage match from SummerSlam 1994, which is probably one of the best cage matches ever. It was so good because there are many attempts of trying to escape the cage, and there are innovative ways to escape the cage. And so Bret always did a really good job in these things, and that's what makes it so fun to watch.
If I remember rightly, didn't he go try and leap up the cage right from the bell?
I believe he did. Yeah, I think that's exactly what Owen just immediately tried to get out of the cage. Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. Yeah. So Bret gets really aggressive early. He starts working over Sid's midsection in the corner. They show Austin watching the match in the back, so keep that in the back of your mind. Bret, of course, is the first one to try to escape the cage, but Sid grabs his legs and took his leg and slammed his ankle bone right into the cage, and that looked like it really fucking hurt. Because I don't know if you ever hit your ankle bone on anything, but that's some pain.
It does. I must admit, under the barrage that Sid put in through it, Bret held up well.
He did. Yeah, he did.
There were some stiff shots going in there from Sid.
Yeah, there's one point where Sid's trying to escape, and then Bret climbs up to the top to make the stop, and they're kind of like trading fists while they're both like straddling the top of the cage. So that was pretty fun. And then the multiple cage attempts, I think that's going to be our drinking game for this week, is you drink every time Bret Hart or Sid tries to escape the cage during the championship match, because it's a lot. But not done in a bad way. I'm not saying that in a bad way. It was really innovative and really good the way he did it. I really thought it was fun. It looks like Sid is about to make his way out of the cage through the door, but then Stone Cold Steve Austin runs out and shuts the door and locks it so Sid can't get out.
Which is sensible.
Right. It makes sense because Brett wants. I mean, he wants Brett to win because he wants to wrestle for the championship.
Yeah. Both sides of this want the opposition of the two people in these matches want them to win because they want to be taking on the champion at WrestleMania.
Right. Yeah. This whole cage match was really well done. Sid hits a powerbomb on Brett, and then he tries to climb out, but Austin climbs up there and stops Sid. They start trading punches at the top of the cage. It looks like Brett and Austin are working together for a minute because Brett gets up too, and they're both beating up Sid on top of the cage. And then the Undertaker runs down to stop Brett, who's trying to climb out of the cage. And Brett's actually on the other side of the cage, like coming down to the arena floor. And the Undertaker manages to punch his way back into the cage. And then, like, all four men are then brawling on top of the cage, which is really a sight to see. Because you got 2 7-footers up there doing this, too, at the same time.
Yeah, that's it. They're not cruiserweights that are bouncing around on the top of this thing.
Right. You've got 4 big 200-plus pound men on top of this thing just trading blows. Brett ends up hitting a superplex on Sid back into the ring. Austin then clobbers the Undertaker with a chair on the outside of the ring. There was just, I mean, a lot going on. It was everywhere.
I love that it was. You couldn't take your eyes off any of it.
Right.
Even down to the ending, where Sid's out of it, as far as we know. Brett goes to walk out the door. The Undertaker hits Brett with the door, and then Sid's over the top of the cage.
And so Brett tries to come out. The Undertaker slams the door in his face just as Sid starts to climb out. And Psycho Sid is the winner, and he retains the WWF Championship, and that thus means that he will defend the WWF Championship at WrestleMania 13. And then we get a WWF rewind because, of course, they cut to a commercial and then they show us what happened 2 minutes ago. I know Glenn loves that, so I had to remind him of that. And then Vince McMahon makes the not-so-wise decision to go get up into the ring and try to interview a clearly not very happy Bret Hart. And Bret Hart cuts a pretty iconic promo here.
I hope you got this because
I do have this, and we are absolutely going to listen to it. This is one of the best promos, probably one of the Bret Hart's best promos ever.
Whoa! Frustrated isn't the goddamn word for it. This is bullshit.
Oh, we apologize, ladies and gentlemen.
Me, everybody screws me, and nobody does a goddamn thing about it. Nobody in the building cares. Nobody in the dressing room cares. So much goddamn injustice around here. I've had it up to here.
We apologize, ladies and gentlemen.
Everybody knows it. I know it. Everybody knows it. I should be the World Wrestling Federation champion.
Get him out of the ring.
Everybody just keeps turning a blind eye. You keep turning a blind eye to it. I got that Gorilla Monsoon. He turns a blind eye to it. Everybody in that goddamn dressing room knows that I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Cut him off.
If you don't like it, tough shit.
And if you don't like it, tough shit.
Yeah.
Austin then shows up on the Tron. You got anything you want to say about that? Sorry.
There's nothing PC about that, was there at all?
No, not even a little bit. And this was like a real shock to the system for wrestling fans. You've never really seen anything like this. And to see it from Bret Hart, of all people, was extremely shocking because he was the last person you thought you would see that from.
Well, yeah. You get bad language in ECW, but that's about it. Because WCW couldn't
harass that much.
Because WCW couldn't, because they were under the Disney umbrella, and they would have probably been put out on the street if they started using profanities and stuff. And then, so for WWF to come along and have one of their top stars cut a promo like that, it was sort of, okay, ECW, anything you can do, we could do better.
And like I know we've already kind of broke the thing of Vince isn't just an announcer, and we've kind of shown that he is the owner of the WWF. And for Vince to get in there and he shoves Vince down, and no one had ever done any physicality to Vince. So for him to shove Vince down was another like, oh, I remember seeing that and going, oh, I was 14, but I was just like, holy shit, did that really just happen? And like, when you started thinking in your brain, because at that time, in that age, I'm like, this is all bullshit. Like, I know it's all bullshit, but that wasn't bullshit. That was real. That was like one of those first moments that I had as a teenager. And I, of course, know now as a 39-year-old man that it's all bullshit. But when I was 14, I didn't know any better. So
Bret Hart was responsible for Mr. McMahon. That first push pushed Vince over the edge.
Yep. And then he would really bring the Vince McMahon character to full circle later on this year, which we will get into. So then Austin shows up on the Titantron and he tells Bret he tried to give him the belt, but Bret threw it all away. Why? Because Bret is a loser. And then Sid, then comes my favorite part of this, Glenn, is Sid starts coming down to the ring and Bret says, you know that should be my belt. And Sid replies, I don't know shit.
Yeah. Never a truer word was spoken.
Because he doesn't know shit. That's correct.
No. He's proved that. We're going to make it. Once we finish with the Heritage Cup, we are going to do a podcast that proves that Sid doesn't know shit.
We're gonna put the proof in the pudding. Absolutely. Then the Undertaker makes his way out to the ring as Bret and Sid are kind of arguing with each other. And as soon as Bret sees Taker coming down, he dives through the ropes, and him and Taker start fighting. But then Austin comes out, and then he's beating up Bret, and then Sid and Taker start fighting. Bret Hart even hits Pat Patterson. Vince McMahon gets very upset, calls Bret Hart a dirty, rotten SOB. Well, he said dirty, rotten son of a. He didn't say the B word, but he thought about it. And then for some reason, Shawn Michaels comes out. I don't know why.
Just to prove that he's still walking.
Yeah. And these guys all brawl to end the match. And like Shawn Michaels keeps acting like he's going to do something. He grabs his hair like he's going to do something, but he really isn't about to do nothing. Yeah, they could have. This whole thing was really great. And you've said this to me many times. That's how you do a go-home show before a pay-per-view. But the whole Shawn Michaels thing wasn't necessary. They didn't need to bring his ass out there.
No, they didn't. They did nothing because he's not going to do anything at WrestleMania. So there was no reason. The only thing it was probably written in his contract at some point that he had to appear at WrestleMania. So they've had to think of a way of getting him involved,
right? Without
getting him involved.
Since he's found his smile, I guess he can come to WrestleMania now.
Yeah.
But yeah, a really, really great episode of Monday Night Raw. I'm going 2 thumbs up. I'm thinking you're going to agree with me. There we go. 2 thumbs up.
I'd give that just for Mini Vader, Mini Mankind.
Absolutely, pal. Yeah. It's a shit show, but we got that match. That's all I'd care about.
And the end, just to really put the cap on it.
Yeah, the icing on the cake was the ending match, definitely. Make sure you join us next week because we're going to do something a little different. We're going to go back and watch the 1997 Slammy Awards, which I told you were very fucking interesting. And then, of course, the week after that, we will be reviewing WrestleMania 13, and we will be joined by our good buddy, our old pal, UTT Rob, from the Unbooking the Territory podcast to review WrestleMania 13. Glenn, what else you got to plug before we get out of here?
Oh, yeah. I never have these ready.
It's a good thing you have a list, though.
Yeah. I need them. Well, we're going to have Rob on soon, so I'll let him do his plug-in of Unbooking the Territory. Andy went solo this week. You referred to it at the beginning on Bang Bang and did a really good job of it, actually.
Nice work. I couldn't do it.
He discussed a certain potato-headed friend of the show, and he also pointed out that there's a Mrs. Potato Head.
I know.
I'd never ever put the two together until he said it, and then I looked at pictures and thought, yes, I do understand it now.
You sent me that, and that looks like Lex Luger's mother. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to know what we're talking about? Listen to the Bang Bang podcast.
DDT Wrestling with DC and Doc. They're talking more and more wrestling. Since they decided they weren't going to talk wrestling, they're talking more and more wrestling.
Hold on. What's Doc Manson watching that DC's got talking about wrestling?
Not a lot,
Okay, I didn't
but
think so.
it's mainly DC that's doing the talking about.
And then Doc Manson goes, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, basically. The guys, Danny and Sai at the Doctor Who podcast. If you're into sci-fi, if you're into Doctor Who, give them a listen. They've gone back and an episode, well, a series of episodes from the very early William Hartnell era of Doctor Who, where the BBC at that time didn't save their recordings of their shows. So they'd all gone missing, but they managed to find there's one episode that survived, and the others they've got all the audio for and stills from the original shows. So they're reviewing a whole series of William Hartnell Doctor Who stills from the show and audio, which would be interesting.
Wow, yeah, that is interesting.
And that's it.
That's it. That's all Glenn's got.
Oh yeah, the Gator Golf, but
well, we'll let Rob further explain that to you because we don't quite understand it.
no.
As always, make sure you follow our buddy Thomas Bryce at Thomas Bryce 2017 on Twitter, and it's at Thomas Bryce 2020 on Instagram. Check out Sportswire Radio. We're on there every week, multiple times a week because we have multiple shows. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are currently at 79 subscribers. We're looking to get to 100, so subscribe today, and maybe you could win that invisible John Cena action figure. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a John Cena Little Jimmy 2-pack that the mayor is giving away. That doesn't exist. It's invisible. Just kidding. Like I said, make sure you follow our buddy, the third member of this podcast team, the Mayor of Canton on Twitter at Mayor of Canton, and check out A Meal with the Mayor every Wednesday where he's going to eat some fast food and tell you if it's good or if it isn't. I hope the next one he eats isn't good and he gets really mad about it because I like it when they're
yeah, they're better when he's not savoring what he's eating, making me feel hungry, especially when I know that there is no way on God's earth that I'm going to be able to eat anything that he's trying when he says how delicious it is.
That's true. And also, if you hadn't heard, Glenn's going to start reviewing sausage rolls. And mustard and sausage rolls.
No mustard. I hate mustard.
You don't like mustard?
No, I don't.
Well,
like
fucking Glenn, this is the last episode. If you don't like mustard, I don't know if we can I'm just kidding. Well, that does it, Glenn. I guess the only thing left to do is for you to say goodbye.
Goodbye.